Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Anne Koopman and I support emerging leaders to lead with confidence, strength, emotional intelligence and courage. If you're new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss out on any further episodes. In today's episode, I'm going to give you 5 tips on how you can navigate difficult conversations so that you don't feel like you have to run away next time. So as leaders, we often have to engage in difficult conversations. And sometimes it can feel tempting to maybe avoid the conversation, just wait for the moment to pass or just think about, oh, well, it's fine, it's going to be fine. And actually delaying difficult conversations can have a negative impact on the relationships with your peers, with your colleagues, with your manager, and with your team members. It's actually important that we engage in difficult conversations because that shows that we have the courage to speak up and to be vulnerable and to talk about things that matter. Your direct reports, they need you. They need your support and they also need your feedback. They actually want feedback. We all are designed to want to hear how we're going, to want to feel like we appreciate it and we're actually doing a good job. So providing feedback is a service to your team and it will make life and creating good results easier for you and the people that you lead. So let's look at 5 tips that will help you to make this a little bit easier the next time you have to prepare and engage in a difficult conversation. Tip number 1 is to lean in. Start from a place of curiosity and open-mindedness and really lean into the conversation. Start to lead with positive intent, to look for why are certain people reacting in a certain way, behaving in a certain way, what are their motivations, what's going on for them. Start to lean in and be open to really learn about the other person and their circumstances. Try and see the good in the person and the situation. Tip number 2 is to self-regulate. And that is all about making sure that when you feel like a bit nervous about going in the situation, or you might feel a bit scared, that you take some time before the meeting to calm yourself down. When we are in a state of high emotions, we are actually not able to think clearly, to think rationally. We are in fight or flight mode and our brain is actually switched off. Our prefrontal cortex, the rational part of our thinking brain, is switched off. So we're not able to think clearly and just think straight. So we can't bring our points across and we're just reacting. So when we go into difficult conversations, we want to make sure we use self-regulating techniques to calm ourselves down first so that we are in a neutral state and we can think clearly when we enter the conversation. If you would like more tips, I've just recently released another YouTube video that will cover the tricks and tips of how to regulate your emotions in the heat of the moment. Tip number 3 is to listen and to truly listen. Most of the time, you actually don't have to do much talking. It's all about listening and trying to understand what's really going on for them. What has been happening in their lives, in their situation, why have certain things come about and what's important to them. Try to understand where the difficulties lie and what they need from you. Don't listen to respond, listen to understand. So often when we listen to another person, our thoughts keep going and going and going. We're already crafting our response and all the clever things that we want to say. The key is really listen. You can respond afterwards. Don't talk over them, don't rush them, and don't just assume that you know what's going on. Because often you actually do not know. So listen, be quiet, and try and use your curiosity. Tip number 4 is to tune into your empathy. Really try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Try to look at this point, to look at this situation from their perspective. Ask yourself, I wonder why they reacted this way. I wonder what happened. Use your curiosity. As I said in the step before, really start to try and understand what's going on for them and what their perspective is. Show that you see them and hold space for what's going on for them. Tip number 5 is all about courage. It takes courage to lean into difficult conversation because, of course, let's face it, we can't control the outcome. We can't control what's going to happen, what the other person is going to say. We make ourselves vulnerable and the other person is quite vulnerable. So it can get heated. What we can control is how well we prepare. But it's your turn as a leader to step up, to show that you are there, to show that you are leading from your values, that you bring things up that are important for yourself or the other person. It's your time to show that you dare to lead and that you have what it takes to be a leader. So these 5 tips will help you to really embrace difficult conversations. You can prepare them in advance. You can prepare when you have to give feedback. I will link my other episodes around feedback so that you get a few more tips on how to provide feedback, for example, effectively. But the key for difficult conversation is to lean in, to self-regulate your own emotions, your own fears and thoughts of what's going on, to truly listen, to show and tune into your empathy, and to have courage. Let me know what resonated with you in this episode, and also what are your challenges when it comes to having difficult conversations. I would love to hear from you. Comment below, send me a DM, tag me in your responses, and I would be so excited to have a conversation with you.